Andy, this is Colin. I won't be able to get in tonight. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm sweating like a pig.
Hi, David here, One Up Gaming. Gonna have a quick chat about a podcast, and with this, I've completely forgotten about my book, so I will be right back. I will be right back. 2 seconds. And I'm back. I don't know how that affected you or not, but I've got my little book. On here I have really bad handwriting, really bad notes, but I will go through some stuff. So this is going to be a really quick video. It's just going to be like my favourite TV shows and movies of 2023. I will also like to sort of say that I got the Anbenek Arc sort of like little handheld machine. On here it's sort of like, I don't know if you can actually see, but it does like the Capcom arcade systems, Dreamcast, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, MAME, Master System, Mega Drive, MSX, Neo Geo, N64, the normal NES, PC Engine, PS1, PS Portable, 32X, Sega CD, Super Nintendo, Super Graphics, whatever it was, and then I've also got the DS and Sega Saturn. So that is like some of the stuff that this little machine does. I love the fact it's got the 6 buttons on there. The D-pad is amazing as well, and as you can see, it's got 2 inline buttons on the top, the triggers, which is absolutely amazing. So that, easily recommended. It's about £100 just over with postage and delivery and fees and all that rubbish, but amazing. I do love that. So thank you so much for the Christmas present. Yeah, so I guess this week we are just going to go straight into the actual, I'll go into movies first. I really should have had a pen with me, but it doesn't matter. So the movies that I've got wrote down is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Sisu, Oppenheimer, Megan, The Wrath of Becky, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Tetris, No One Will Save You, Blue Beetle, Elemental, and The Marvels. Yeah, that's all I've got wrote down. So out of all these things on here, if I was to do a top 3 list, out of all them, Megan is amazing. I love Megan. I'll just go through what the reasons why I like some of these. TMNT, yeah. It used more of the art style of the Spider-Verse sort of stuff, like a lot more slapdash. It looked a lot rougher. It looked more painted-y sort of style. It was amazing. I did love that so much. And I did think that having the younger people playing the Turtles, it gave it more energy, more spontaneity. It was really good. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, what else do you need to know? It was goddamn amazing movie. It was just good. I can't wait for the 3rd one. Sisu. Now this one I hadn't really heard much about, but oh my god, it is violent. I love these sort of really violent movies, and it is just a I'm going to get the name wrong, but some sort of like Norwegian-y person, and he wants to get from one place to another place, and the Nazis get in his way and kill his horse and bits and bobs, and he just goes full on crazy and just kills all of the Nazis that are trying to stop him. It's amazing. I did love it. Oppenheimer, very long but very good movie. It was the story of the guy who helped create the nuclear bomb in America, and it's just a detailed story of the history going into all of the bits and bobs. And if you're interested in the history, then I would recommend it. It's a really, really good movie. Very slow, but very, very fun. Megan, again, I'm going to go through. It's a android sort of like creation thing to look after a young girl after her parents die. I think, oh my god, it's that long ago since I've seen it now. But the Megan, the little androidy sort of like big robot thing, is in the style of a little girl, and it is basically programmed to not hurt it might be a little boy, I can't remember, it's that long. And basically when things are happening and their emotions are overwhelmed by what's happened, the androidy thing thinks that the human people are hurting the person, and she goes on a rampage and starts killing people. It's quite fun. The Wrath of Becky, I have to mention this just because the original movie Becky I'd never heard of, and I just happened to watch it on some sort of like service the other week, and it's just a story of I think it's like a 15-16-year-old kid who ends up in a massive place where her father gets killed, and then it's like a step mum and a step brother who she has no real relationship with, and she's just an ass. But like her dad gets killed, and then the people are trying to get her because she's got the key to something, and then she goes on a rampage and kills all these people, and it's just so stupid. Loved it. There's a sequel, and that is this, The Wrath of Becky. It's her now, about 19, and it's alright. It's nowhere near as good as the original, but it is quite a fun little movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think it was a perfect end to the series. Really well done. I did love the fact that they tried to add more heart and more background to the characters. Really felt good. Yeah, great game, great movie, absolutely amazing, worth the wait. One that I was quite shocked how good was, and that was Tetris. And with this one, I think a lot of liberties have been made to the story and the fabricating some of the stuff that happened, but it is a really good movie, and it's interesting to see how things were done back in the late 80s, I'd ever guess. One that I'd never really heard of, but I watched, and that was No One Will Save You. And this is basically like a silent movie, very little talking, and it's about an alien invasion and a woman trying to protect herself and not get killed, and it is amazing. As much as I'll say, it's a great movie. Blue Beetle is one of the better DC movies of the year. It was really fun, really well made, and some of the background characters I really loved. Yeah, it was more of a low budgety sort of movie, so the FX and the CG isn't amazing, but it's a story that drives it through. The next movie, Elemental, and this one is Disney and Pixar at the best. It's really well done, and yeah, I mean, what can you say? It's Disney, it's Elemental. Watch it, it's amazing. It's a great movie. Looks stunning on a HD 4K screen, and it's just a nice story, nice pacing and everything. Just goes so well. And the last one that I want to mention for this year is The Marvels, and that's because for some reason a lot of people go on about the Marvels and Marvel at the moment just making nothing but crap. And yes, I can see that, but I do think that sometimes people overemphasize something, and I can see that the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It was horrendous, and I can say that it was bad. It was really bad. But The Marvels, although it's had really bad reviews, I actually really enjoyed it. The person playing the young Kamala, is it Kamala? The person playing her is really good, and it is how you would want someone to act when they're meeting their greatest sort of like they're fans and they're meeting these Marvel heroes for the first time, and she's just massively geeking out, and it's just so fun to watch. And I just thought it wasn't massively over connecting. It wasn't massively you had to watch everything to understand what was going on. Some of the characters I didn't care about. The Rambo person, I have no idea. I actually thought that the WandaVision was one of the worst sort of things I've seen in a long time, and her from that I just didn't care about. Miss Marvel, yeah, it gave her more of a backstory, more of a meaning, more character, which I thought was quite good. And yeah, I just thought it was a well made 1.5 hour movie. Just sit there and watch it, and it was fun. So my top 3, going through these now. Number 3, TMNT Mutant Mayhem. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And at number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Amazing. So that is the movies of 2023 in my opinion. We're going to have a quick break, and we'll come back with the TV shows of 2023. And there's not many to choose from because I was just randomly writing these down and trying to remember what the hell I was watching. So back in a few seconds. So back again, still Davey, still One Up Gaming, and this is the TV shows of 2023, our best of. So the shows that I've got on here is Loki Season 2, Gen V, The Last of Us, From Season 2, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and Star Trek Picard. So they're the things that I've got on here. Now people will be like, oh, what about Star Wars? Well, I'm not a massive Star Wars fan. I'll watch them, but nothing sticks. It's just as soon as I've finished, I've completely forgotten everything about him. But I blame me mum because she watched Star Trek on loop when I was a kid, and that's just stuck in my head, stuck in my brain, and that is how things go. So I will talk about these. Loki Season 2, great season, great actors. I really enjoyed it. It went a bit weird towards the end. It had to try and explain a reason why there's a multiverse and all this crap, and I don't like that. I don't like a multiverse. I think make a movie, done. And if you want to make a series, that is absolutely fine. And if you want to have a connected world where people can pop in, pop out, perfect. But also make movies that are just not connected, not, you don't have to watch 1,000 hours of whatever to get into the movie. Just watch the movie. It's a great movie. Gen V. Now, I love The Boys. I love the fact that it's completely over the top, gore infested mayhem, and Gen V is a young version of The Boys, new characters, going on about how these people are discovering what powers they've got in a school. It's just crazy. It's amazing, and I loved it. It's great. More gore, more stupidity. I loved it so much. So, The Last of Us. Now, this was as if you are just watching the game's cutscenes, but they're well done, they're well stylized, it looks good, and the story is there and it holds up well. So yes, The Last of Us is a good little TV series. Maybe not as good as some of the ones on here, but it's great. Next up we have From, and this one, again, it's something that I'd never heard of before. And then I was watching like Sky, and it popped up saying now on the Sky, whatever it is, Now TV thing, they've got From season 1 and 2, binge watch all of it in one go. And the advert made it seem as though it was like vampires or something. And I love a bit of a dark, gory sort of shows. And it starts off as people come into a town, you can't escape the town, Once you're in the town, you're trapped, and then then you find out that at night, monsters come out at night and start to systematically kill people if they get into the houses, and it's just so well done. So it's like monsters that come out at night to destroy and kill people. They basically de-gut them and drain them of all their organs and stuff, and it's just amazing. I love it. It takes like full season to work out what's kind of going on. And then this is like season 2 that came out last year, and it goes into more of the backstory. More people come into the town, more unhinged people who don't understand. Some people believe that it's all fake and it's all weird, and it's just a great series. It's a very mystical sort of thing, very mystic. It's a whodunit kind of thing. It's not knowing what's going on, and then once you start to think you know what's going on, another thing happens and it makes the whole thing go weird again. And I loved it. Gore, violence, just craziness. I love that kind of thing. Star Trek Strange New World. Now, I loved the original series of Star Trek Strange New World. This is season 2, and again, like the original series, it's more like the old 60s and Next Generation sort of series, where it's just every episode kind of has a link through it, but you can watch each episode individually and not sort of like lose out on some of the stuff. And I will say this season had 2 episodes, episode 7 and episode 9. I'm not going to say nothing really about them. They are the pinnacle of TV from the last 5-10 years. It's amazing. Just those 2 episodes alone is flabbergastingly, amazingly, stunningly. It's just great. And of course, Star Trek Picard season 3. And I will say season 1 was okay, bit slow, bit boring, bit meh, but I loved the fact it was filling the background, filling the, just going into a bit more depth of the world. And I also love the fact it's a bit more sweary, a bit more adult oriented. Season 2 I thought was a train wreck of a season. I really didn't like it. Thought it was up its own ass and it just didn't go. Season 3 though, it incorporated a lot of the old Next Generation characters. It incorporated a lot more sci-fi tech. It incorporated like them going back out onto a ship, which is what season 1 and 2 kind of missed. It seemed as though they had a lot more budget from Paramount, and it all flowed well, it all looked good, and it just was a great season. And that is the shows that I've been watching this year. So I will say my top 3 TV shows of 2023. Number 3, Star Trek Picard. Number 2, season 2 of From. And number 1, just because of episode 7 and episode 9, but the overall season was amazing, and that is Star Trek Strange New World. So that is my top 3 TV shows of 2023. So thank you all for watching. It's been me, David, One Up Gaming. Thank you all. Goodbye.